Happy to be here today with Dr. Leah Levi, who is part of Scripps Clinic. She's the Director of Neuro-Ophthalmology. That was just a wonderful talk you gave, a great overview of some really interesting new neuro-ophthalmology information. Love to have you share some of that with us.
Well, one of the things that we thought we knew was that the upper limit of normal of intracranial pressure was thought to be about 20 centimetres of water, but we've since found out that in adults it's actually as high as 25 centimetres of water, and in children, especially those who are sedated, it may be up to 28 centimetres of water, and that's really changed the way we define idiopathic intracranial hypertension.
That's a really important piece of information, probably not well known. I'm also very interested in some of the other facts that you presented to us.
Well, one of the things that we've also found out is that when people are having a spinal tap, it doesn't really make a difference whether they're lying on their side or lying prone, but it does make a difference if they're sitting up, because if they're sitting up, the pressure will be artificially elevated.
So now when you do your spinal taps, are all patients not sitting up, or do you have an adjustment that you make when they are sitting up?
Well, if they have to have it sitting up, they can't have the opening pressure measured until they're laying down again. Another interesting thing that is new is we've always suspected that there was a connection between obstructive sleep apnea and non-arteritic anterior ischemic optic neuropathy, because there are papers that have well established that the prevalence of obstructive sleep apnea is far higher in the group of patients who have non-arteritic anterior ischemic optic neuropathy. But in a paper just published a month ago, what we found out was that if we look at patients who have had anterior ischemic optic neuropathy and we test them for obstructive sleep apnea and then see what happens to the second eye over a 3-year period, there is a significantly increased risk of second eye involvement for those who do have obstructive sleep apnea versus those who don't. And in addition, for those who have severe obstructive sleep apnea, it's particularly important that they be treated, because that far lowers the risk of second eye involvement. And so now what I do is I test all of my patients with non-arteritic anterior ischemic optic neuropathy for obstructive sleep apnea, and if they have it, I emphasize to them the importance of being compliant with their treatment so that it decreases the risk of second eye involvement.
That's an incredible piece of information that really needs to be disseminated through all of ophthalmology. I just want to thank you so much for sharing this information to us, and I hope you have a great meeting.
Thank you very much.